Well, don't I feel like an idiot? Okay, so you remember when I was flying back in the Waco, part 3, I was landed at Crestview, Florida, spent the night, and that cute little kid Connor came out. Well, I've been connected with his dad because I wanted to get his permission to use it on the video, which we did. He was kind enough. And anyway, a while back, he said, hey, we were thinking about coming down. When's the museum open? I totally messed up. I knew it was Father's Day weekend, but I thought Father's Day weekend was this weekend. It's next weekend. I just got a text from them, and they're sitting outside the gate. So now, anyway, so let me go sort this out, and we'll see if I can give them a quick tour. I feel like an idiot. Where's my keys? All right, just follow me. Okay, here we go. Now, I met his father, Brian, and his mother in the morning as I was leaving, you know, and Connor seemed like really enthusiastic. I mean, oh God, his dad sent me a video. This kid is like really enthusiastic. And an airplane came in at Crestview one night, and he was pretty excited anyways. Pulling over here into the Museum Lite, which actually opens next weekend, Father's Day, so we'll get this sorted out. What's happening? We're still doing the social distancing thing here, so yeah. But good. Hey, Connor, Brian, and I forgot your name. Alyssa. Cool. Well, super. So I understand you saw the video, part 3. Did you see the other parts? No. Well, you were in the video. Is that pretty cool or what?
That was cool, yes.
Well, good. Well, come on in. I apologize. We don't open till next weekend. And for some reason, I thought Father's Day was this weekend. Anyway, so we'll give you a quick tour. There we go. And so this is the gift shop, okay? And then the long run, there's going to be the hangar that's over here. There's going to be another hangar over here on the other side. And right now, so this opens, and a lot of the kiosks in here, they actually came from the other side over there, because that's where Fantasy Flight was originally started. That was only ever designed to be my shop, and we're going to work. We're working on changing that into the shop. And really, the only reason this is over here is open is because I have a lot of trademarks like Fantasy of Flight and Orlampa and things like that, and so I have to kind of keep my trademarks going. And also, you saw a Fantasy of Flight sign on the side of the road. I want to keep that out there too till I reopen. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's a big arch gate over here at the entrance. Okay, that's where the main entrance has always been, because this big open field out here. This is what I'm working on developing right now, so it's going to be even bigger and better. Okay. So, you know, I got like 4 children's books out. And a lot of this stuff, you know, is online. We got a gift store online, and all sorts of cool little things here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this coronavirus thing works out, because, you know, I've got some older people that are tour guides, and, you know, so we got to be like really careful. So we're going to have to ask people to wear masks and, you know, blah, blah, all that stuff. So anyway, and I've only got a limited number of people that can run the place, and if one of them goes offline, we're going to have to shut down. So anyway, okay, so this is the... Yeah. We sell those online too, so...
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this is just the museum that we open right now to the public. But if you're a good boy, I might show you some of the other side too, okay? So what airplane's that right there?
Right there?
Yeah.
Shiny one? P-51.
P-51. Is that a D or a C?
D?
A D, very good. Okay, I also have a C as well. I'll show you that one. That was my first Warbird when I was 25 years old. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You know, I do little children's books, okay? And my first book was All of Life as a School. And I knew Walt Disney used a lot of characters, you know, and he had books and stuff about them. So I did a bunch of characters with airplanes that I ended up with. See, there's Z back there, GBZ, okay? So you just walk around. What's that right there?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard of it.
That is a V-1 buzz bomb. It doesn't have a pilot. They made a couple that did, but it was a bomb, and they would launch it off in the war. They would launch it off, and you know, and then eventually they would time it to where when the fuel would run out, it would be over somewhere that they wanted to blow up. Okay, so that's what they did. It was more of a strategic thing than it was a tactical deal. And this little deal right here, this is not a real one, but it's a replica. That was a rocket one that had rockets on the back, and they would launch it like a rocket on a tower, and they would wait till all the bombers were overhead, and they had like all these, there was a rocket in there, in each one of the deals there. And they would shoot up, and they only had a couple of minutes, and they would line up all the bombers, and I'm going, yeah, there's 3 bombers out there, and I'd line up and I'd push the button, and all the rockets would shoot off, and hopefully it would hit one. That's what they would do. So, and then you know what the guy would do? See, there's a picture of it sitting on the rocket launch, okay? What the guy would do is he would click a little latch on the inside, okay? And then what he'd do is he would kick a little thing, and a parachute would open in the back, and the back end of the airplane would go that way because they wanted to save the back end of the engines, and he would get thrown out the front, and then he would open his parachute and come in and land. Wow. It was a one-shot deal. So anyway, we got a couple little World War I airplanes here. That's a Moran AI, and I'll bet you know who flew one of those. Snoopy and
Yes, and Snoopy and the Red Baron.
Bingo, that's the Red Baron. It's a Fokker triplane. There you go. Yeah. So I've flown, if it looks like, if I haven't flown this one, but if it looks like it flies, I've probably flown it. I've flown this. This airplane's still being rebuilt. That's a de Havilland 4. That was a World War I airplane that the Americans built. So here's my little racing planes that I made some characters out of. So that's the GBZ, okay? And in my book, that's his big brother. That's the R2. Yeah, the R1 actually won the Thompson Trophy race was won in '31 by this one, in '32 by the R1. And Jimmy Doolittle, he was a famous pilot that flew the B-25 off the aircraft carrier.
Yes.
30 seconds over Tokyo, and he actually won the race in 1932 in that type airplane. These are reproductions, kind of replicas. And you know, a lot of the World War I airplanes are covered with fabric, and this is the one that just doesn't have the fabric on it yet. And I've got one over at the other side, I'll show you, that actually has the fabric on it. That's the R2. If you have any questions, you just ask me, okay?
Okay.
And this one in my little book, this is a little girlfriend, a Z down there. This is going to be Puff. This is a GBY. They only built 2 of them. And we're going to doll her up with a little pink nose one day in my book. It wasn't historically accurate, but for Kermit it's going to be. And this was a Laird Super Solution. I think Jimmy Doolittle flew that also too and won the Bendix race in 1931.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
How fast did this go?
I'll tell you what, let's look at the thing and see what it did. Top speed, 256 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty fast for a biplane back in 1930, early 30s. That's a B-24. I should have asked you. What is it?
It was a B-24.
Okay, and what was the nickname?
B-24 bomber?
No, okay, B-17 was a flying fortress, and the B-24 was a Liberator.
Oh, Liberator. Okay.
Liberator, there we go.
I didn't read I did read my plane paging, but I forgot about the Liberator.
Well, that's good. Okay, this was a little World War I airplane. It was they pretty much used it for training. They didn't use them for fighting, but it was kind of an advanced trader for the fighter guys. And some of these are rotary engines.
Is it the software, the one that
Goes around.
Yeah.
These are probably pretty stiff right now, but I'll show you one that does go around. This was a German one that actually is counter-rotating. The crankshaft goes the other way inside to help cut the torque down. So big old bomber. I flew this airplane in here a long time ago. This is a kind of a replica airplane of a Newport 17. This was in the movie Fly Boys. If you ever watched the movie Fly Boys, this is the airplane that was in it. Okay, tell me what this is.
That?
Yeah,
I don't know the name of it at all.
at all.
we were just looking at one of those, weren't we?
Grumman built it, and it lands on the water and on the land.
And it was U.S. Navy Search and Rescue.
Right,
I do
and
know that.
it's a Grumman duck.
A Grumman duck.
A Grumman duck, yeah, that's right. Yeah. We recognize that little red airplane there, don't we? This one over here?
That's the one. That's the one you flew in.
That's right, in the Crestview. That's when I met you that day. Yeah. And you can see the B-24 and the B-17, they had a crew of about 10 kids flying them, okay? But the little kids, they fly that one right there.
What did your great-grandpa fly in?
A B-17 and a B-29.
And a B-29. Wow. I have 3 B-29s.
You gotta
2 and a
be
half,
kidding me.
actually. Yeah. So this is a S-56 Savoia Marchetti. It was built actually in America under license by American Aeronautical Corporation. It's actually all wood. At some point, we're going to completely rebuild this and get it flying again. Right now, it's just strictly for static.
Wow.
So does this go on water and on?
Exactly. And what happens is the little wheels, they go up like that. Oh, no, these actually fold back and go up. But some of them, like the duck, they actually go up and go in the little side there, okay? And some other ones, like I've got a Sikorsky over there, they just basically kind of go up like this. So I haven't been flying the Waco a lot, but I'm glad I got it home. What's that airplane?
A Beechcraft.
Yes,
Beechcraft.
that's a stagger wing. It's called a stagger wing. And it's kind of interesting because most biplanes, the top wing is in the front and the bottom wing is in the back. But on this one, it's reversed to give the pilot a little bit more visibility. And it's interesting. So, but it really flies nice. Beechcraft airplanes, I have found, fly very, very nice. And we haven't put the stanchions up. We still have to clean the floor. But this is basically going to be what the museum's going to be when we open next weekend. We got a few old cars here. Eventually, when we open the bigger thing, we're going to have old cars and things like that, you know, to kind of enhance stuff. Here's a bunch of my engines. I got lots of engines.
Is this the biggest engine you have?
That'd be pretty close. I've got a 4360 as well, which is a 4-row radial engine like they used on the Spruce Goose, you know, the big Howard Hughes airplane, HK-1. Howard didn't like the name Spruce Goose. That's a Curtiss Robin. Here's a couple little characters in my children's book. That's Miss Los Angeles, and in my book she's called Missy, okay? And this little one over here was Ike, and it was designed by Benny Goodman, so we call this little one over here Benny. Pretty cool? And this is actually an original real racer, not a reproduction. This airplane, Brown B-1 racer, flew, I think, in the 1934 Miami Air Races or something like that. I don't think I could fly it. I barely fit in it. So anyway, but if you want to take a peek up inside the B-24, just jump through the rope here and look up inside the bomb bay. Take a peek up inside there. And I got a Kermie Cam video that I do a walkthrough in this, okay? And I go through and I walk you through and I show you all up inside and what's inside, and we go up in the cockpit and I explain everything.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you get a chance, you can get on the. So do you watch some of my videos?
The only one I watched was the one that,
You were in?
yes.
Oh, really?
But I promised I would watch some more. I promise.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Okay, good. So, you have any questions about the P-51?
How fast and what's the wingspan?
The wingspan, I think, is about like 37, 38 feet, and the top speed, the true airspeed at altitudes at 25,000 feet, it's 434 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
And it's got 1,500 horsepower engine, burns a lot of fuel. You know how much fuel it burns?
No.
When it's cruising, it burns a gallon a minute.
A gallon a minute.
A gallon a minute, 60 gallons an hour. And on takeoff, guess how much it burns?
I had no
3
idea.
gallons a minute.
3 gallons a
A
minute?
gallon every 20 seconds. Okay. And what people say is if you can't afford the fuel, don't ask how much the airplane costs. All right. We'll go look at some other airplanes over on the other side. Does that sound cool?
Yes. That sounds very good.
Anyway, it's great being able to show this little kid around. I feel so bad that I got the wrong date. But anyway, he's getting a private tour, so that's pretty cool. All right, we'll take them in the front entrance because they've never been here before. So this part over here was what we were originally was open, but we've since closed to the public. And right now, so the little museum hangar is all we've got. And like I said, in the long run, there's going to be another hangar that goes on the other side, okay? And you see the arched entrance way over there? It has the arch on it. That's the main entrance. The reason that's always been there is since day one, that big open field over there, which is what we're going to develop next, is going to be where Fantasy of Flight's going to be. So this over here was only ever designed to be my shop. Well, it's not completely set up yet, but it's where it's going to be. So if you get a chance, come up here. I know you're like 8 years old?
10.
10, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, what I want you to do, I want you to read this over here. This is pretty important, okay? So read that.
Since the dawn of time, men had been fascinated by flight. This fascination is the physic reflection of what we long to return to. We all fly in our dreams, and when we walk away, we long for the entire freedom. I hope this fantasy of flight will help light the spark within the continue of your journey.
Good, okay, so I gotta tell you, in the long run, Fantasy of Flight has a lot of airplanes, but it's not about airplanes. Okay, it's gonna be about flight of the human spirit, okay? So it's about you going beyond yourself because you dream about things of what you wanna be and what you wanna do, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use Fantasy of Flight more as a tool to get people to discover what they want to do, what they want to be, where they want to go, okay? Because what I learned was there's really not a lot of people that like airplanes on the planet. There's you and me, and then there's the people that are going to watch this video maybe. But there's not a lot that come through my door to pay my light bill. So I lost a lot of money over the years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and come up with a new concept, and I think I'm onto something really big. So let's go check it out and see what it's going to be, okay? So like I said, this is currently closed to the public. And we used to do a lot of events and things. Yeah. We got one little lizard there. The lizards like it. This was a restaurant. This was our little greeter's desk over here. And we had a restaurant back in here. We took a lot of the furniture out and stuff because you remember in the part 3 Waco trip, you remember we were talking about doing the Filming the Right Stuff, the Disney TV show here? Okay. Well, this was an airline terminal in the deal. It was like the Albuquerque airline terminal. And basically, so we took all the furniture out and stuff, But eventually this will be a little bit of a restaurant again when we reopen. But I'm going to have a couple more restaurants over there on the other side, too. So we had a little place where you had a grill and all that, had some club seating over here. We'll put all that back in at some point, when we reopen. So right now we're just in the design process. And this is kind of interesting. This is a map of kind of what the airline route was back in 1940. That was before World War II. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, I don't see Crestview up there, but I see Pensacola. That's close. Good. So what would happen was people would come down here, and this was our gift shop over here. That was the gift shop, and that's where all those kiosks came. That's why they kind of look like that. And people would come down here. They'd buy their ticket. And eventually they would go through these immersive environments over here, okay? So they would buy a ticket and then they would go in through this little thing over here, okay? I want to explain something to you because this is pretty cool. So when people would first go in here, it was kind of a dark, scary tunnel, okay? And there was lots of noises, and to get into the Fantasy of Flight attraction, you had to jump out of an airplane, okay? You could do it in a wheelchair, but it was just... Okay, so he just took a step back. So what would happen was I noticed all the little kids, they would come and they would go, the teachers would come when we first opened because we were, not just a fun Disney type attraction. We were an attraction that had some educational stuff to it, So we had homeschools and we had public schools. They came in. So the teacher would inevitably go back and the kids would come in and she'd say, do a crayon drawing of the coolest thing at Fantasy of Flight. Inevitably, it was the dark, scary tunnel. Yeah. Okay? And I couldn't figure out why. And when my little girl was like 3 or 4, what happened was she'd say, come on, Daddy, let's go through the dark, scary tunnel. And all her friends would go in there and they'd scream in there. And I sat there and I thought, what is going on here, okay? And I didn't realize that we had developed our future concept without even realizing it, okay? That's kind of the way my life works, okay, and unfolds. And what happened was the little kids would go in there. They would love that so much because they would vicariously relive their own self-discovery process of overcoming their fear. And they would go through over and over again to relive that experience of overcoming something in their life. So that's a great example. That's with kids, okay? But I've come up with some great ideas to develop that for adults too. So it's like, in the old days, this used to scare the heck out of the kids. Forgive my French, but we're going to scare the crap out of the adults too, okay? So anyway, so this is not open now, but basically you would go in there and it would be really scary and there'd be noises. And so anyway, so now we're going to go into the hangar. There we go.